before you get started, you want to butter the pan.
This is a family video of how to cook Red Cross Fudge. It's a family recipe that's been in our family since 1969. So first you're going to mix your 2 sticks of butter and your 4.5 cups of sugar over medium heat on gas stoves and low heat on electric stoves. It's a little bit different. It makes the fudge set differently. And then you're also going to add in your evaporated milk. And you're going to let that come to a rapid boil.
So when my dad was in the Navy, my parents, your grandma and grandpa, lived in San Diego. And my mother found this recipe in the newspaper. And she tried to remember how many pounds of fudge the recipe or the article said that they'd made using this recipe. But she figures she may have almost equaled that number since then. We make it every year at Christmas. We've made it every year since 1969. I always give this. Of course, this is out of season for us because we're doing it in July instead of in December.
It's Christmas in July.
All of our ingredients are melted now. It's important to keep stirring the entire time the fudge is cooking.
Once the fudge starts to boil, you set your kitchen timer for 11 minutes.
Exactly 11 minutes.
11 minutes. And as soon as it's done, you add marshmallows and chocolate chips. And then
2 tablespoons vanilla.
Yes, the vanilla and the salt.
And a pinch of salt.
A pinch of salt.
Some people like to put walnuts or pecans in their fudge. If you want to do that, you can add a cup when you add the chocolate chips and marshmallows. You can use milk chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate chips. I've used white chocolate chips before. I always use real butter and whole evaporated milk, but I have used reduced fat and fat-free evaporated milk, but always real butter. If you don't cook very often, if you are going to make fudge, you want to make sure that you've got a heavy-duty pan, not a thin, not one of the ones that's really thin that has non-stick coating in it. That will scorch. This is an aluminum pan, so it distributes the heat evenly. You can see that our fudge, our milk and butter and sugar is starting to boil. I'll cut the heat down just a little bit more. And now that it's on a low boil, we'll start it for 11 minutes exactly, stirring the entire time.
Four minutes left on the clock. We got 3 minutes left. I'm counting down. My arm's getting tired. Alright, we are reaching our last few seconds of the fudge cooking. We have 9 seconds on the clock. We've been stirring constantly for 11 minutes. And it's almost time, now it is, to add in the chocolate chips. And then the marshmallows and vanilla. And our pinch of salt. go the marshmallows. You want to stir rapidly when we turn the heat off. You want to stir as quickly as possible so that the marshmallows, chocolate chips, and everything else gets mixed up really well. Now you have a nice good consistency. It's starting to harden along the edges of the pan. And now we're going to go pour it on our pre-buttered pan.
Because I'll get, once it's, this is a dessert, you can take the bowl, but you want to wait for it to cool off.
Yay!